So everyone, I'm going to start again officially. We're going to start recording now. My name is Hawah Kasat. I am the co-founder and executive director of One Common Unity, a nonprofit organization in Washington, D.C. We started in the year 2000 as a violence prevention initiative to help create and resolve conflict nonviolently, to use the arts to heal hearts. Throughout the past 20 years, we've been doing after-school programming, in-school programming. We've been working on the front lines and pioneering really creative work around arts, social justice, restorative justice, healing, trauma, mindfulness. And the work of the organization, spanning 2 decades, has really enabled us to create a large breadth of intersectionality between some really important topics and issue areas that are essential for positive youth development work. And so I want to welcome you to the National Training Informational Session, because we're going to be telling you a little bit about why this training is so important for you. If you're a youth leader, if you're an educator, if you're a teacher, if you're an artist, if you're an activist, if you in any way are trying to heal and to uplift community and your community members and to serve, then this training is for you. That's why we've made this training. That's why we've created this training. We've created this training to give you the tools so that you can really go out there and facilitate the magic and the healing that's needed out in the world. And the curriculum that spans almost 180 plus pages has been developed over the course of over a decade. And so this is a part of like a really important legacy that we've been building. And last year was our first national training that we did here in Washington, D.C., where we had over 24 participants from all around the world join us. And that happened right here in Washington, D.C. We worked together every day for about 8 hours, and we did a 40-hour training over that week, and covered some incredible ground. And those certified fly-by-leg trainers and facilitators are now all around the world, integrating, utilizing our curriculum to support their own work in communities with youth and with adults and with families. So again, this is meant for you to really strengthen your skills and to allow you to show up and to be present in this time where there is so much trauma, there is so much crisis, and there's so much need for us to really strengthen our ability to facilitate the healing in the world. So we're gonna start this with a grounding, a really just quick grounding that I'm gonna do, just a couple of minutes of meditation and deep breathing. So wherever you are, feel free to sit tall. If you're in a couch, if you're on a chair, it's fine. Just sit, with your spine long. And I invite you, this is an invitation, I invite you to turn your gaze inwards, which means you may close your eyes. I also invite you to just look down towards the ground. You can just take these next minute or two to center and work with grounding into this moment. Let's deepen our breath. Keeping the lips joined together gently. You'll bring the air in through the nose and exhale out of the nose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now take a deep breath in, fill the belly, drawing the breath in towards the navel. And now hold your breath and pause. And exhale through the nose. 2 more deep breath in. And pause, hold your breath. Exhale. Inhale. And pause, holding. Relax your body, let your whole body soften. As you exhale, let your shoulders relax, let your face relax, belly relax. And just come back to a natural cadence with the breath, just breathing normal. These last 30 seconds, we're just going to take some moments of silence to send all of our love and support to the family members and those that are connected to George Floyd and all those feeling pressure and the sense of injustice around what's happening in Minneapolis. We also send our moment of silence to all those that are on the front lines, helping us with the crisis and dealing with COVID. And we send our strength and our kindness and our compassion to all beings that are suffering and in pain. Let's take our hands over our hearts. Take one more collective breath together. Exhale all the air out. Take a deep breath in, really deep. And exhale, let it all go. I invite you to open your eyes when you're ready. Nice and slow. Great. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Again, thank you for tuning in. I want to thank Liz, Shaden, Johneé for organizing this incredible informational session that we're about to have. And I'll tap back in with you guys at the end of the session to say goodbye. I'm going to hand it over now for the next part.
Thanks, Hawah. That was really grounding. I really needed that. My name is Liz London. I am the National Training Advisor. So pleased to be with you all and get to share more with you about our trainings, plural, our full fly-by-light training, national training, and also how we're structuring 2 different sessions, lots of different options that you can tap into. Before I do that, though, we have actually a number of One Common Unity team members on the call. We won't have time for everyone to introduce themselves, but I do want real quick for Shaden and Johneé to introduce themselves and as part of the training team, and then we'll keep moving to the next piece.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Shaden Dowiatt, and I am the program director here at One Common Unity. Thanks for being here.
Hello, good afternoon, friends. My name is Johneé Wilson, and I am the National Training Coordinator and a Program Facilitator at One Common Unity. Thanks for showing up today.
Awesome. So I'm going to share a little bit of background and context about what our national training is going to look like this year. It's going to be really quick. In part because we have a lot more information on the website. We are going to have an opportunity to hear from 2 training alumni, training participant alumni from last summer, and then we're going to have a Q&A at the end of our time together. So you'll get any questions answered that are things we didn't cover and information maybe you can't find elsewhere. So just for some context, as Hawah said, last summer we had our first ever fly-by-light national training, which I was also coordinating, and it was really incredible. We had a fantastic group of 20+ people in DC, and it was an opportunity for skill building on some of the topic areas that fly-by-light really focuses on, things like artistic expression, restorative justice, social emotional learning. It was an opportunity for really incredible community building of folks that do related work, but really different stuff from all around the country. And what all the participants left with was the fly-by-light curriculum, the evidence-informed fly-by-light curriculum that has been our guidepost for the incredible fly-by-light program that we've run for for many years now. And participants left with the curriculum and the ability to implement it in their own sites, in their own cities, to use the activities to start up their own program if they wanted to. And so our intention this year was to do a repeat of that, even better, even bigger. And of course, with COVID and everything going on, we realized pretty quickly that we would have to shift that plan. And so actually we're really excited about moving to a virtual version of this, among other things, because our hope is that it will allow people who may not have been able to access the training, whether that's for cost or for travel and being in different parts of the world and country, to be able to access it, but still will be able to preserve the great sense of community and intimacy that we built, that you'll get the same rich skill building and discussion on those topic areas I mentioned. And if you participate in the full 40 hours of training, that same as last year, you'll be able to leave with the full fly-by-light curriculum and the ability to implement it and implement that program in whatever context you're in. So a couple things I want to just kind of lay out about what the training will be like. First of all, it is not going to be like a typical webinar, or probably not even like a typical training that you may have been to, or maybe you've been to some fantastic virtual trainings and workshops, but it's really important to us that this is highly interactive, that there's a lot of opportunity for relational work and community building, even though we're apart. And so that's going to be a real centerpiece for our time together. We're going to be doing movement, meditation, there'll be music, there'll be arts, there'll be all kinds of opportunities for learning and engagement. You will not just be sitting in your chair listening to someone talk at you. There will be opportunities to hear from expert facilitators who really understand these content areas, but it's also really designed so that you are constantly engaging and getting to practice and learn these skills and getting to try things out yourself. So we're really excited about that. The other thing that I wanted to just lay out that I think is important about how we're structuring the training this year is that there's going to be a couple different options. So one option is what we hope as many of you as possible will do is to attend the full 40-hour fly-by-light training. And that is really where you'll get the equivalent of what last year's training looked like. And that's where you'll be able to get the fly-by-light curriculum and again, be able to use that curriculum for whatever context or program you're in. But we also have options for you to attend we've broken the training up into 2 different sessions just to sort of make the timing more manageable. So session 1 is over the summer, and that's happening actually the same dates that we had our in-person training originally scheduled for. So July 20th to 24th. And that's gonna be 4 hours every day throughout that week. And that first session will focus on, conflict resolution, self-care, mindfulness, social emotional learning, trauma-informed care, and artistic expression, among other things as well. So if you can only make that first session, you can register just for that session and you'll get, each day will focus on those different topic areas. You'll still get a chance to see some of the fly-by-light activities and curriculum in action. But if you only come to that session, you won't leave with the full curriculum. You will also be able to receive 2 CEU credits for that 20 hours of time. The second session, we're kind of spreading out over a longer period of time since it's going to be once we're back in the school year. We know that it's very likely that school will remain distance learning and not everyone is on a school-based schedule, but we wanted to make sure it was accessible to those who will be teaching or will need to be kind of available for most of the day once the school year starts back up. So that training is happening. There's going to be training days every other week, starting August 14th, going to October 30th. And we'll be meeting one day on a Friday, I believe, from 12:30 to 4:30 every other week. And that session is going to focus on implicit bias and cultural humility, restorative justice, youth-led campaigns. And there'll also be, as in both sessions, there'll be a lot of opportunities for team building and reflection and integrating learning. And then for those that have registered for both, that participate in session 1 and session 2, there's going to be an additional session that's going to be focused on how you bring this curriculum to life, how you implement it, and sort of dealing with some of the logistics of that. So just one more time so that it's really clear, we hope that you all will register for both sessions and get the full 40 hours, 4 CEU credits, the full fly-by-night curriculum, the ability to use it in wherever you are, whatever school or program, neighborhood. But if you're only able to attend session 1 or session 2 separately, you're able to do so as well. We have early bird pricing available until June 1st. We'll send you more info. So if you're ready to register, you can. We wanted to make sure this info session was before early bird pricing was over, so you could sign up today or over the weekend and still get that pricing. And then we also have group pricing for groups of 3 or more. So if you're with an organization or a school or just with a group of people that are interested, you can get a little bit of a discount that way. So I'm going to close it there, again, just because we have lots to get to, but also if you had questions as I was talking, I didn't cover everything by a long shot. But please jot those questions down and we'll have our Q&A later. And if we don't get to it even then, we're more than happy to answer questions offline if anything you want to know is not on the website. But bottom line, we're really, really excited. And I think that even though this was not the design we originally had, we're confident that this is going to be a super engaging, dynamic, connective workshop, as is everything that we try to do. So I'm going to send it on to Shaden.
I think I have the fun part of this whole session right now to feature some of the alumni that attended the program last year. So we have 2 alumni with us. We have Chris Reeves, who is one of our mental health clinicians that works at One Common Unity, and Yashaswi Desai, who's doing incredible work over in India. So we're going to be able to hear 2 different unique perspectives on how they've been able to apply the work from the fly-by-light training. So warm welcome to you, Chris, and warm welcome to you, Yashaswi. So I'm going to jump right in with a few questions. So Chris or Yashaswi, if you want to start, can you just share really quickly like a few things that were memorable or resonated with you from the fly-by-light training last summer?
I'll go. Yeah, a few things. One thing, a couple things that kind of resonated with me was, I just kind of really appreciated how much time and effort really kind of went into the planning and the conducting of the training itself. I found it to be, it was very structured, and also connecting with the other people from all around the world, right? And just kind of really understanding how important this work is, and just really going there. It was a week. Every morning I think we started at 8:30 or 9. Can't really remember. But just the whole like peaceful aura that was in the rooms when I went there. So that was incredible. And then how the art and music was incorporated in it as well. I thought that's a lot of stuff that's kind of resonated that I kind of felt great about afterwards. And felt good after every day after I left. I'm like, this feels good. Right? And so yeah, it was cool.
So I'm so happy to be here actually, and looking at all of you and listening to it. It's just amazing feeling. I think what resonated with me the most is that it's been a year, and now looking back, I feel like the training and the material that was provided was so versatile that even in Indian context, like I worked with young women, and it resonated so much, even though it was created for youth in USA, but I think it just works so deeply with young people here also. So looking back, this is what I feel like it has done magic with the workshops that we created using the curriculum and all the activities that we did in training.
Awesome, Yashaswi. And if I can ask a follow-up question, can you share a little bit more about how you've used the curriculum? I know I've heard some wind of like groups you've been leading with girls in India, and I would love to hear a little more about that.
Yeah, so we you made this 3-month program that we used to run weekly with one of the slums in a nearby city where I lived. So every week we met and we actually literally used the curriculum topics, and I transferred it into Indian context, but the flow was similar. What we used to do in training, how we started with mindfulness, and then there was some art and reflections and activities that were in curriculum. So I would make those whole sessions using the curriculum, and there were so many, like I got help from Shaden so much, Lee's was following up, and all those things together actually left imprints on the coordinator of that space that I was working with those young women, that they want to do more, they want to continue doing this program, and they want to train their girls. And even like for the first time, they are considering to bring art. So basically they do educational activities and livelihood activities with young women. And for the first time, they were doing something that was related to art and sharing and expression. And that opened up so much from those girls that they wanted to keep on doing it. And now I now use the almost same concept with kids here. So even today we did some activities from the Fly By Light program with young kids, and it was really fun.
That's amazing to hear. Wow, so cool. Just wow, wild to imagine that Fly By Light is happening over in India. So we're so grateful that you are doing that, and I'm excited to hear more soon. I'm going to ask Chris the same question. Chris, how have you been able to use some of the concepts or ideas that you learned in the Fly By Light training this past year at your work here in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah. First, what I got from it when I use it with my students and the youth at my high school, it provides a gateway to establish a rapport with my students. It helps opens up discussions and kind of seeing where they're coming from, and it really kind of just, again, it opens up discussions. It gives the students an opportunity to kind of self-identify with concerns that they might be having from different perspectives. I have found it helpful that it can help students approach things through a different lens, as well as myself as well. Again, I mean, it offers a lot of different activities that can help build trust. If I'm doing a group, the activities that we have done, I believe that it's helped them establish trust between one and their peers. It's helped them to trust me. So trust all around for sure. And again, it's also I've found so far that it's helped the ability to express oneself through their hidden arts. I've had a lot of students like, well, I'm not artistic, but yet we'll do an activity, and next thing you know, we'll come up with like a really cool poem or a cool drawing or something like they never knew that they really had. So again, I think, but probably for the most part, I think it's a great way, being a clinician in the school. It's definitely it's an icebreaker, and to give myself and the students the ability to expression.
Thank you. It's so awesome to hear that, and such valuable tools around the arts and relationship building. So yeah, we're really grateful for your work, Chris. I'm going to ask one last question. Just if you could speak on behalf of like experiences you've had in trainings prior, what was unique about the Fly By Light training, or anything that surprised you in terms of like how it might have been different So if you were offering like words to the audience here, you know, what kind of stuck out to you?
I think for me, the after support that I was what was kind of surprising also. I felt like any training, you just get it and then you are left on your own. But there was so much following up even after training that I felt very supported, and I think that was really incredible. I didn't imagine that. And all the material that was given to us, I think that really made my work very easy. The curriculum and all the emails that I sent for other materials that I was looking for, and I got it immediately. Um, and the feeling of love and care and support from all the facilitators that I felt throughout the training and even after that was, I think, very unique, unlike other trainings, I think.
Wonderful. Thank you, Yashaswi. And Chris, for you?
Thank you.
Can you repeat that question real quick?
Yeah, so we're just like exploring, you know, your memory of trainings, and is there anything that set apart the Fly by Light training or that was unique about the training?
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing that that I really liked about this training was how we use a lot of different spaces. And so I thought that was cool. I mean, I think, you know, part of the day we were in this room, another part we were in this room, another part we were in this room. And so a lot of different inside and outside changing the atmosphere. So I thought that was pretty cool how the Fly by Light training conducted that. I thought it was really productive. And again, the drum circle every morning was powerful. It was you know, I've been to a lot of trainings, but I've never had a training where I've done a drum circle every morning. And I think doing a drum circle just like it really kind of it brought the I don't know what it brought, but it brought something. It brought some power down. Mm-hmm. So that was you know, I thought that was pretty cool. But I think one thing I really liked how we used the spaces to like, all right, so you know, if we're talking about whether conflict resolution over here or you know, social injustice over here, we could like really kind of switch where we are. And so I thought that was powerful, and I think that was pretty different how this training was able to connect with myself in order to really absorb really what the training was all about.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a gift to be able to meet in person and have those spaces, and we're certainly aware of how special like the different activities and spaces are, and we're definitely trying to cultivate the same thing online. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. And just, you know, final question, is there anything else you would add, anything else you would say about the training, or any final thoughts? You have the last word.
I'll say something real quick. Again, you know, this is such a necessity, and I don't want to name any names, but you know, because Fly by Light or One Common Unity, we're all about you know decreasing the violence and whatnot, and it's so real that one of the participants in the training that week, she couldn't show up for our last day because one of her friends was killed. And that kind of put a lot of things in perspective, and so it just said to me, you know, it's like, wow, this is a necessity that really needs to be spread around, and we all really need to get on board with Fly by Light, right? And really kind of understanding how to approach, you know, different individuals or whatnot, and how to really kind of use this training and to decrease a lot of the unfortunate violence in this world. And I thought that I just thought it was great, man. And I don't know, I thought it was great.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, powerful story, and powerful that you all had a space to heal and share together in that very, you know, intense moment. And Yashaswi, I'll offer you the same. Is there anything final that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I feel that fly-by-light training actually gave me a ground for inner transformation, because every day I was coming there and I was seeing that like all the facilitators were also doing this deep work of their own transformation, and I could be part of that, and I could see after the training the facilitation for me became much more genuine, and it came from heart, like because I could connect with so many people who were doing this amazing work, that I didn't feel like I was alone. I felt like I'm part of some big ocean where, you know, so many are trying to do this, and I'm just one. Like it just made my own self very. It's something like something melted down from me, and it just became like some other kind of journey for me. And now even facilitation has become very different for me, I think.
Yeah, thank you. This metaphor of the ocean, that's so powerful. I also want to just offer space briefly. Thank you so much, Yashaswi. Thank you, Chris. We really so appreciate you being here. We have one of our incredible facilitators here on the call that facilitates at Eastern High School alongside Chris, Princess Best, and she just wants to offer a few words. So I'm going to give her just a minute or two just to share anything she wants to share, and then we'll turn it over to Johneé. So thank you.
Thank you, Shaden. Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, in regards to what people were talking about in terms of reflection, I think that the biggest difference between like the fly-by-light national training and trainings that people could sort of experience in different places is that our goal is for those people who come to the training, that it is not a training for you to train other people. It is a training for you to experience for yourself the work so that you become it, right? So there's a difference. So I think that the difference is that part of what Chris and Yashaswi was talking about in terms of the experience is that a lot of times people think that they're coming for the training for the experience to go externally. And our philosophy is that you, in order for the work to work in the way that it's supposed to, for supernatural, you know what I'm saying, supernatural healing and trauma-informed spaces, is that it is about, the training is about the transformation of you in that particular space that then radiates out. So then you become a trainer by virtue of the experience of how you were transformed by the curriculum, by the work, by the work itself. So I think that that's sort of the caveat and the selling point to why Fly by Light has been in existence for as long as it has, and why we win in ways, because our goal is for people to understand that the training is about the embodiment of what you're receiving, right? It's not just about the paperwork. It is about you have to be in these experiential experiences, right? You have to actually participate. And so so that's why you see the facilitators, you see our staff, everything that we do, we also are a walking embodiment of it. We're not putting it on for you all to receive, it is a part of our daily work. And so we want to impress upon you that when you take the training, that it become a part of your daily work. So that way, then Fly by Light really does get the exposure that it's supposed to, because it's resonating within you. Like, you're transformed by it, therefore people will be transformed by it. So that's what I think makes the huge difference in our training versus any other. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Princess. I would echo that 100%. I think back to all the times we've done like the nonviolent communication trainings and conflict resolution trainings, and like how often I have to check myself in real life. And yeah, totally true. So thank you for that. So y'all have been listening to us for a while now, so we want to shift up the energy a little bit. So I'm going to turn it over to Johneé for some movement. So Johneé, the floor is yours.
Hi, friends. So thank you, Shaden. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Chris and Yashaswi and Mama Princess. I wanted to say thank you all for holding space with us today as educators. We understand that this is a very uncertain time as some of us have shifted from a classroom into a virtual space. So we may be enduring this virtual fatigue. I am a fly-by-light facilitator as well, and I wanted to say the award-winning fly-by-light program is based on 5 pillars. Those pillars are social justice, artistic empowerment, environmental stewardship, health and wellness, and social emotional literacy. So when we approach young people with these skills, we approach it in an integrative way. We approach the whole child. So mindful moments are important in this virtual space, away from screen activities are important. So I'm going to facilitate with you all. As Princess was saying, you kind of, you transform by having the experience. So really quickly, I want you to think, I have a little icebreaker question. If you could be any kitchen utensil, what would it be? You take like 10 seconds to think about that. You can type it in the chat box or you can keep it to yourself. Awesome. I love the responses that are coming through in the chat box. It's such a silly icebreaker question, but I use it with my students because going to social emotional wellness, it helps to, in a way, like build self-awareness. Like how are you creating a context between you and the power of a kitchen utensil and what that tool can do and how you're relating it to your own skills. So I would also be a wooden spoon, Michelle, and Kathy. And my reason is because it doesn't conduct heat. It's been around since antiquity, kind of unchanged, and has made it through all of the unique innovations of kitchen utensils. So think about your kitchen utensil and come to the edge of your seat. We're going to do a little like away from screen activity. So come into yourself. This is going to involve some movement. You can kick off your shoes if you're in a safe and comfortable space. Just wiggle your toes. You can keep your eyes open or you can close them. This is your space. Maybe you wiggle your fingertips, thinking about your kitchen utensil and thinking about how the power of that utensil connects with the power of you as an educator, a teacher, a youth organizer, a health worker, and how you impact the world around you. On your next inhale, I want you to inhale your arms up to the sky. Reach your fingertips up to a cloud, tickle a cloud. If you're a wooden spoon, envision yourself as a wooden spoon or a whisk or an egg beater in these motions. Maybe a knife because you're just so sharp. Inhale, exhale, cactus out your arms, broaden your chest open, point your chin up towards the sky in the form of your kitchen utensil. Keep your space open to allow energy in. Inhale your arms back up. We're going to move a little bit faster. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. So cactus out your arms if you have space. This is a heart opening activity because in order to receive and give, we have to keep that space in our chest open. Inhale back through center. What we do on one side, we do on the other to balance it out. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Keep your heart open. Inhale back through center, moving fluidly. Exhale, release your palms down to your thighs, resting your palms on your thighs. I want you to grab for your right knee. Inhale, if you can, if this is in your practice today, inhale your knee into your chest and just squeeze it. In all the power, your human form as a kitchen utensil. Maybe you rotate your ankle on your right foot. You're whisking it around. Maybe you're cutting through something that's challenging right now. If you're a knife, maybe you're a spatula and you are getting the sides and making sure nothing goes to waste and being just resourceful in these times. Inhale, exhale, release your right foot down to the ground. Inhale, gather your left knee into your chest. Breathe, continue to breathe. Rotate your left ankle. whisk it around, blend it. Maybe your toes are a fork, picking up air. Exhale, release your foot back down to the ground. We're gonna go through one more time. Inhale, your arms up, tickle a cloud. Yes, friends, exhale, baby back bend, moving a little bit fluid together in the space. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Inhale, back through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, back through. Exhale, release your hands through heart center. Put your hands to the screen as we connect with each other's energy. And in Hawah fashion, Hawah does these meditations. Feel the energy of the person through the screen here. Wow, I can actually feel a warmth here from your palms or from the heat that we've just created in our space. Y'all are beautiful, y'all are powerful, y'all are worthy in this virtual space, in the physical spaces in which we look forward to occupying, and release your energy back into your space. That is just a movement meditation that we would use to facilitate in a group of students, just to allow them to become present in the space before getting into more strategic engagement. I have the opportunity to work with middle school students at Brown Education Campus, and they're really interested in environmental leadership. So one of the questions we've recently asked is, what does the world look like after COVID? Ideally, what does your world look like? Does everybody have a personal robot? Does currency not exist? Do the schools turn into homeless shelters? So really driving these critical reflections among your young people. I also have the opportunity to work with high school students who are youth activists and who are really harnessing the power of youth-led campaigns, which you'll learn about in the training, how to motivate your young people by asking the right questions so that they can lead their own campaigns. So our high school students are working on something called PODS, which is public occupational development spaces or safe spaces for young people. So right now we're at the stage where they're writing letters to the mayor, and what would they say? And so the fly-by-light training is just so seamless because there's a thread that connects something as simple as what kitchen utensil would you be, all the way to a youth-led campaign about, how will you transform the space you're in, and what would you say to your elected officials and duty bearers. So really embracing the whole person. Thank you, Shaden. Thank you, Liz. I'm so glad that you all could be here today again. I'm going to pass it back to you, Shaden.
Wow, Johneé, that was powerful. Thank you so much. So yeah, thanks again, friends, for being here. We are interested in hearing from you and any questions that you might have. So we're going to just offer space for a question. So if you'd like to ask a question and you're comfortable, you can either unmute yourself and ask us, or you can put the question into the chat and one of us will definitely try to respond the best that we can. And I did see Christine's question about the evaluation tool. Thank you, Christine. Thanks for being here. We do have pre and post test evaluation tools that we use. We have a few different evaluation tools we use that I'd be happy to talk through with you more. But at the end of the day, we are really measuring a lot of the youth development outcomes around self-awareness, use of art for making peace, a lot around mental health measures, and things around like protective factors versus risk factors. So we've used a series of different surveys for our program to evaluate it over the past few years. Many years, not few years.
There's a question in the chat from Michael about process for satellite chapter. That was really what this training was designed around, with the hope that fly-by-light did not only exist in the schools we were in DC, that it would spread around the country and even around the world. So I would say the first part of the process is attending the full training this summer, or if not, in a future time that it's offered, so the full 40 hours, and then you receive the curriculum and you'll go through, I mentioned that extra session where we're going to be focused on what it looks like to actually implement and some of the logistics that go with that. And I think Yashaswi spoke so beautifully about like follow-up, and that's really important for us. And so anyone who's looking to start a real satellite chapter, we would be working with you really closely in follow-up to help you get that off the ground. So the intention is that if you come to the full training, you can use the curriculum right away, you know, if you just want to start doing some activities. But if you're looking to start the program somewhere, a satellite chapter of the program somewhere, that will have we'll make sure to follow up with you and offer ongoing resources to help you get that going.
Liz, we also have a question. Thank you, Liz. And I hope that answered your question, Michael. We have a question about the scheduling, and if you cannot attend a day, is it still okay like to attend if you have to show up late or miss a day? We're thinking yes, it is a synchronous session, so it is not pre-recorded. Everything is live and interactive in that space. But so if you miss a day, I'm not sure if you would be able to make that up. Liz, Shaden, are we planning to do an asynchronous variation of any of the programming?
I think we're not planning to do like an equivalent this summer, an equivalent full version that's asynchronous, so you can access it anytime. But I do think, as you said, Johneé, my understanding is that we, if it's like just one session that you might need to miss, that we would try to look into options for either making that up or potentially using a recording. So if you have to miss, 3 out of 5 days, then that's probably not going to work. But if you, have to come late this day or miss one chunk, then our hope is that we can work around that and offer you some other way to get that material. Shaden, anything you want to add?
No, I think that's exactly right. I think we'll do the best we can to accommodate if people need this, but I think probably more than a day, it's going to shift the culture of the space and the cohorts that we're creating. So we do really try to be intentional about creating a container in this space and making it a safe space. So we'd love for people to be there as much as it's possible.
So next question is on, will the training also focus on how we can implement the program virtually and how it should look? Because we're going to be experiencing the training virtually, and because so much of what we do is experiential, I would say the answer is yes. The curriculum that you get is the curriculum that we designed with the intention of using in person, but Fly-by-Light facilitators have been already doing lots of engaging and creative activities virtually, and we're hoping that we will weave those in, but also everything that that we offer from the curriculum, we're also going to be modeling and experiencing together. So through going into the training, you'll get to see the ways that we've made those adaptations and really cull from the wisdom of facilitators that have already been pivoting and moving this stuff to online space. Johneé or Shaden, want to add anything?
I know I've been facilitating virtually for the last 2 months, and the students are very receptive. We do mindful art activities. We do away from screen scavenger hunts. We do mindful eating, like online, and we're able to create a space where the students are engaging in dialogue and also engaging in creating PowerPoints and slides on climate change and how the whales are resurfacing back in Italy. So, I mean, I don't think there is a replacement for the physical space and how that feels, but it's definitely possible to have an interactive and engaging virtual session, Fly-by-Light session.
I think we maybe have time for one more question. So I see here, would you be able to review what we can expect to see in the second session? So I'll plug again the website, and Johneé, maybe if you don't mind sending it one more time, because people might have left and might have trouble finding it. On the website, we run down, exactly what the topics are for session 1 and session 2. And they're also going to build on each other in many ways. But in terms of topic areas, the session 2 topics that we're going to delve more deeply into are implicit bias and cultural humility. Restorative justice we're going to touch on in the first session, but we're going to go really deeply into and do some restorative circle work. In session 2, youth-led justice campaigns, which I think Johneé mentioned, which is a real hallmark of our program. Like, how do you create social justice campaigns that come out of what young people are interested in and are really led by them? And then there'll also be throughout some team building, and then on the last day, a chance for some deep reflection, thinking about applications, and then doing some closing and appreciation. Okay, I'm gonna send it to Johneé to do a really quick next steps little spiel, and then it's back to Hawah to close out.
All right, friends. So the next step would be, 1, go to the website if you haven't. Take a deep dive into the scheduling, into the pricing structure, into the FAQ, to see what you can gather in that space, and if the dates will align with your schedule, and if it's something that you're interested in, or if you know someone that you work with, or a family member or a friend who works in a like industry as an educator or community organizer, then pass the information on. If you would like to schedule a one-on-one with me, please feel free to shoot me an email, and we can take a deeper dive into any of your questions. We do understand that at this point it is, we're still in the midst of uncertainty when it comes to many things. So if you're experiencing, or someone who is experiencing any type of unemployment or underemployment, you can also reach out to me to learn more about any scholarship options that we are offering for the training. Liz just put in the chat box the registration. For the group pricing, it's 3. So I just wanted to be really clear on that, that it's not 4, but it's 3 participants, a minimum of 3, and that pricing is accessible to you. But that would be it. And if I'm missing anything, Shaden or Liz, please let me know. I'm going to type my email address into the chat box.
Shaden actually put it in.
Oh,
but
you're the best.
Doesn't hurt to be the new. Yeah, I'll just add one more time. As Johneé said, please reach out if you have more questions, if you want to chat more one-on-one. We are very, very happy to. And if you are ready to register, we would be so thrilled to have you. And just check out that Eventbrite link. You can register for the whole training, for session 1 or for session 2. And again, the early bird pricing ends in 3 days, so you still have time.
Yeah. And Liz, may I say, I just want to commend all the educators here for being so resilient and keeping your passion intact to outfit the next generation of change makers, even in the midst of this pivot from physical to virtual.
Great. So Hawah, we'll send it to you to close.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for leading such an awesome info session. Chris and Yashaswi, thanks for zooming in from respective places. Liz, Johneé, Shaden, thank you for all your incredible work. I'm super excited for the training. I'm going to close out with a quote by young Pueblo from his book called Inward. And here it goes. What does it mean to live in love? It means to rise above judgment so that we may see the world and ourselves with eyes of compassion. It means allowing the wisdom of love to orchestrate our actions, to always seek to produce thoughtful movements that support the good of all beings, and to emit peace into the ocean of humanity with our every step. Living in love is allowing ourselves to move through life with an open heart so that all may share in the gift of our goodwill and kindness. It is to ask ourselves, how would love heal this situation before we make our move? I want to live in a world where harm is not systemic, where love organizes society, where the earth is respected, and where life is valued above all else. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of where we are in this moment, and that's why it's so important that all of us come together for this training and continue to use education, which is this incredibly powerful tool for transformation and healing. And I hope to see all of you in July, and then through the rest of the 40-hour training as we have our sessions later in the fall, or the early fall, late summer. So I think that's it. I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna say thank you for joining us, and please tell your friends, other people you know that work in education, other people you know that are in youth development at schools, that are artists and activists that are just looking for more tools in their toolkits. Please tell them about the training as we keep accepting more registrations over the coming weeks. So thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for being here, and we'll be in touch with you as we move on in this process.